And another thing I like to mention here is in physics, for instance, in teaching the Newton's laws of motion. In a usual school, teacher gives the students the first law, the second law, the third law, then give them some not hot applications of that. For instance, a guy is pulling a box. This is the guy. Something like this, whatever. This is a not hot application, but in my school, after the physics teacher, talked about the Newton's laws fast, he moves on to the hot applications. Like the applications in celestial mechanics or in machine design or in structural design. And I'm saying that, let's in my school, I teach the students, or my teachers would teach the students the real stuffs starting from the elementary school. Why couldn't we teach an elementary school student, say, structural design or surveying, real stuffs, but at the level of the elementary school student. Okay. Another point here I want to talk about is that the thing you see or hear for the first time is very important. For instance, here, we got about 200 countries in the world. We probably haven't heard the name of all of them, but suppose, you meet somebody from a country named Machu Picchu, something like this. Okay. And this is, you haven't heard about that country, and for the first time you meet someone from that country, and how the person is or how he behaves, you make some thought about that country. If he's a kind person or he or she is a kind person, you thinking that, the people of that country are kind. The first time is very important. And let me show you what it has to do with our discussion in teaching. For example, if you read a physics textbook, an elementary physics textbook, the writer who is a physicist or an engineer start at the first chapter. He or she starts by measuring accuracy. Measuring accuracy, units, dimensions, and maybe later how to, vectors, how to add or subtract vectors, and this kind of non-hard nonsense stuffs. But for you as a student who for the first time is gonna learn physics, you already have some image of physics, that physics is say spaceships or or stars, galaxies, whatever. But when you going to learn physics for the first time, what you see at first is some crazy nonsense and non-hard stuffs, measuring accuracy or units, adding nonsense vectors. So this is what I mean by what you see at first is very important, and at this point something inside your head saying that it is physics, then I don't like it, and at the beginning you dislike the subject. But at my school I require the teachers to not talk about the nonsense stuffs at first. Okay? I forgot to say that in the second chapter of the physics textbook, the author talks about kinematics, and he gives examples on projectile motion and projectile motion is in, for instance, launching a rocket. For instance, two countries are in war, and the military from this country shooting a rocket to this country, or a basketball player, throw the ball into the basket. Suppose this is the basket and this is the player throwing the ball. This is a projectile motion, and in the textbooks they give you this kind of examples, which for instance, this is a military application. Maybe most students don't like it. And this is a basketball player, which he or she learns how to throw the ball in the basket by a lot of practice, not by studying kinematics. I might be wrong, but those were not the hottest applications of kinematics. So, in my school, the physics teacher would not start talking about the measuring accuracy, units, dimensions, and this kind of thing. Instead, he or she may start by kinematics, but not those examples, but how in designing machines and mechanisms we need kinematics, or how in astronomy we need kinematics. And within that, he or she teaches the units, measure and accuracy, and whatever, because because the most important thing is this, the applications or the design of mechanisms or astronomy, and units and dimensions and whatever is, is less important. Or for instance, instead of just teaching that this is how we add or subtract vectors, my teachers would teach that by an example from, say, designing structures like buildings or bridges. Okay, thanks for watching and bye.